Hello, it's 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition for tonight headlines. We have the new ministers make contact tower with their departments. 11,515 candidates turned up for the start of exam. For the national scene, Mo Farah prepares for his last Olympic event. Welcome to our newsroom. For his first visit to institution under his supervision, the new Minister of Interior, Said Nuh Hassan, visited yesterday the Directorate of Population and Family. This visit is part of the Minister's tower of contact in the various bodies under his ministry. The discussion is allowed the new minister to get a feel for the realities of the work of this department. It was also an opportunity for him to visit the premises to see the working condition of the staff. During this first visit, the Minister of Interior was accompanied by his close collaborator. Upon his arrival, Mr. Said Nuh Hassan was welcomed by the Director General of Population and Family, Mr. Ahmed Umar Jama, and his staff, the Archives, the Naturalization Service, the Nationality Service, the Production, the Civil Studies, and the Archives of the Civil Studies were the main stage of the Minister's visit. This visit was also an opportunity for the new minister to see the activity of the staff of this directorate. A visit to the central headquarters of the National Identification Number. The visit of the Minister of Interior continued at the central headquarters of the National Identification Number. This building, which adjoins the Central Police Station, houses the offices of the National Identification Number project. The second stage of this visit began with the presentation of this new ambitious program that our country will launch in the coming days. In this regard, a presentation was made by an engineers from the National Agency for the State Information System, Ilian Abdul Fattah, and this new initiative, the unique National Identification Number and the National Registers of Natural Persons, as well as the equipment used for the employment of the population, were explained to the Minister and his staff. In a brief interview with the press, the Minister Said Nuh Hassan has congratulated the Director General of the Population and Family as well as his team for the welcome he received. The Minister then focused on the new premises intended to house the unique identifier program in our country. The staff of this institution is serious and motivated, and they carried out very heavy tasks. They are currently being trained and made competent in these files, which responds to the new technologies such as biometric, which is at the center of the government policy. This is a first for East African countries, he said. The test for the brevet d'études fondamentales for the 2021 session is for ninth graders started this morning in the 16 scheduled examination center in the capital. This year, some 11,515 candidates took part in the BEF writing tests. The head of the large delegation, the Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Mustafa Mohammed Mahmoud, visited several examination centers in the capital to see at first hand how well the tests were going. The visit started with the Charles Foucault College, where the ministers and his close collaborator were welcomed by the school's principal. The ministry's executive were able to see that for themselves that all the necessary measures had been taken to ensure that 2017 BEF exam were organized in the best possible conditions. The ministers and his delegation then visited the examination room and the secretariat to ensure that all the material conditions were in places to organize the BEF examination in good conditions. On his part, the headmasters of the basic school, Mr. Abdi Dirir, said that during this tour, the ministers and his delegation were satisfied with their observations and the good conduct of the tests. In the early afternoon, the Minister of Health, Dr. Ahmed Robli Abdille, paid a first contact visit to Dr. Shakib Saad Hospital, where he was warmly welcomed by the Director General, Mr. Hussein Mohammed Hussein, and the entire staff. As part of his contact tower, the ministerial visit took place in the main department of this hospital. The Minister of Health reviewed several departments, including the consultation department, the biochemistry and the biology laboratory, the radiography department, and hospitalization department. The Minister of Health was thus able to inquire about the perceptions of hospitalized patients with regard to the reception, care, and quality of medical services provided within the Dr. Shakib Saad Umar Hospital. For his part, the Minister of Health, Dr. Ahmed Robli Abdille, reiterated his support and begging for the medical professionals to improve the quality of medical care for optimal management of respiratory disease and infections. The Minister of Health urged the hospital staff to redouble their efforts, especially during the epidemic period of COVID-19. The Minister of Social Affairs Solidarity, His Excellency Ulufa Ismail Abdo, received on Wednesday the World Bank resident representative in Djibouti, Boubacar Sid Barry, and his close collaborator. After a brief word of welcome and congratulations, the resident representative of the World Bank said that this courtesy visit is part of the fruitful collaboration between the World Bank and the Department of Social Affairs to discuss the priorities of the governments in terms of social actions. The meeting, which took place in the Minister's office, was an opportunity to lay the foundations to future improvement in the project and program that the two institutions are conducting in a coordinated manner. The Minister of Energy in charge of natural resources, His Excellency Yunis Ali Gedi, received this morning in his office a courtesy visit from the Japanese ambassador to Djibouti, Omio Otsuka. The discussion is focused on ways and means to strengthen the bond of friendship between Djibouti and Japan. The minister reiterated his unwavering support for the ambassador in order to strengthen the bilateral bond that unites us. As part of the contact tower, the Secretary of State in charge of investment and private sector's development went this morning at the National Investment Promotion Agency, the one-stop shop. On her arrival, the Secretary of State in charge of investment and private sector development, Ms. Safia Mohamed Ali Gadile, accompanied by the Secretary General, was warmly welcomed by all the staff of the one-stop shop and ANP. The Secretary of State in charge of investment visited the different departments and services to the one-stop shop and with the explanations of functioning which was provided by the Director of ANP, Mr. Mahdi Darar Obsiye. Moreover, after having made the tower the new Secretary of State in charge of investment and private sector development, the youngest members of the government held a meeting with all the staff of the National Agency for Investment Promotion. The Office for the Development of Geothermal Energy has the honor of receiving the French ambassador to Djibouti, Mr. Arnaud Guillois, at the PK 20 site. The Director General of ODEG, Mr. Kayad Moussa, welcomed them, and the ambassador and his team then headed for Lake Assal to visit the installations carried out by ODEG as part of the Gal Ale Koma drilling program scheduled for the end of June. The Republic of Djibouti is committed to a real ambitious energy program that is in line with the visions of the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, which is to take full advantage of the abundance of natural energy resources to enable the country to benefit from cheaper energy that is accessible to all. The French ambassador to Djibouti, Arnaud Guillois, said that as many projects to meet the energy needs of the people, Djibouti is located at the meeting point of the three rifts, namely the Red Sea, the Gulf of Aden, and East African Rift. This makes Djibouti a volcanic land where molten rock lies close to the ground, teeming with the vent fumaroles and geysers and hot springs. For his part, the director of ODEG, Mr. Kayad Moussa, explained in his speech that they have put in place a vast energy development program, numerous large-scale projects, some of which are designed to meet short and medium-term needs, are underway. We regret to announce the death of the late Fatuma Usman Diriye, aged 78, born in 1943 in Djibouti. She was the mother of the Director General of Hospital Sheikho, Mr. Musa Ibrahim Suge. The deceased left behind her 8 children and 33 grandchildren. The Minister of Health addresses a message of condolence to the family, relatives, and friends of the late Fatuma Usman Diriye. Let us pray to the good God to welcome her in his eternal paradise. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. For the international scene, Mo Farah prepares for his last Olympic event. Mo Farah will put his crown back on the line this summer on the Tokyo track. The Somali-born British champion will be aiming for another Olympic titles after his 2 consecutive 5,000 meters and 10,000 meter titles. The Mogadishu native is keen to share his experience of a major event as athletes' preparations have been disrupted by COVID-19 pandemic. A track and field legend with 4 gold medals and a record number of world championship titles, Mo Farah is hoping to hold his own in Tokyo despite his 38-year-old legs. On the Tokyo Ovals, Mo Farah will aim for a third gold medal in the 10,000 meters, a performance that would allow him to make history at the Games. This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.